Yoder from Kansas Customs, and he's going to tell us today about the racer they tried out at Bonneville this last season, and I'll let him take it away.
Hi, I'm Mike Yoder. We got the little Bonneville modified roadster down here today at the truck club meeting. And the reason it's here is because some of the members were at a meeting here at the shop a few months ago, and they saw the car in process there when Bondo's son Roy was welding it all up. We brought her down to show you that we do finish some projects now and then. And the car was kind of built at my shop, Kansas Customs. A lot of it's finished up here at Bondo's shop, Fields Enterprises. Both of his boys had their hand in it on some sheet metal work and a lot of the welding. And Bondo did all the finished painting and slicked up the old fiberglass body for us and got us a good looking car. And then the good times were that we all went out to Bonneville Salt Flats a couple weeks ago and ran it during Speed Week. This was the first time of running the car, and we didn't do particularly impressive, but I got the driver's license and Roy got a driver's license. We're both good to go now up to 150. And so we've eliminated that. We don't need to go through that process next year. And the car was also tech inspected and got through it without having to do a retech or anything else on it. So that was kind of a bonus.
So if you get up there approaching the record, which you said was at 160, what they automatically give you a higher license to 200?
Next time we go out, you just tell them you're qualifying for a C license, which is 150 to 175. If you make a run and you exceed the 150 mark, you get the timer to sign it off that you've made a safe run, and then you're good to go on up to the 175 mark. So it's a progressive thing. They really encourage safety and just good safe driving. Each of us went through 2 stages to get the current licenses we've got. But we just had the best time out there. It was interesting seeing the vehicles. I had my son, Bondo had his 2 boys. My brother-in-law had his dad out. He was our official truck driver for the weekend. He's old retired over-the-road trucker, and he's always good for a 1,000-mile trip. So we just all had a good time.
Okay, and you're running in class GGMR. Can you explain what particulars are of that class?
The classes are set up by type of vehicle, and this is a modified roadster. There's street roadsters, which have to have rear fenders, have to have headlights, taillights, and used to be it was a converted street machine. There's a roadster which is missing all that stuff, and it's pretty much a dedicated race car. The modified roadsters don't have any of the original front sheet metal. They're usually a stretched out, longer car, can handle a little higher speed. The G on it.
I'm just backing up a little to get more of it in the picture, so if you want to speak a little louder.
This is a gas roadster, which designates the fuel we're running, and the G is the engine class. So you kind of back your way through what type of car it is. And a G class car is like 96 cubic inch up through 122, 2-liter motor. And to get this motor into a class that was a little more competitive for us, it's Olds Quad 4, which was about 137 cubic inch. It's been sleeved down to 121, just to keep us a little more competitive. The next class up, the record's currently at 213, and we didn't figure that was a very good entry level for us.
And you said you're running a T5 S10 transmission?
It's a T5 S10 transmission that we've kind of hacked on and modified to get the shift linkage back past it about 2 foot, so it's comfortable to shift from dropping your hand down from the steering wheel. You got to run arm restraints, all the safety equipment, and so you don't have much arm movement, so we had to do that to shift it. It'll probably be replaced next year with a closer ratio 4-speed transmission.
And pretty much a stock 36 Ford rear end, you said?
We're running a stock 36 Ford rear end. The housing's all been welded up for conventional 9-inch Ford axles. We got a spool in it to lock the rear end up. There's no differential. But the gear set itself was actually out of an old 36 Ford buddy of mine made a street rod out of. The rear end had been sitting idle for 50 years and cleaned it up. There's no rust or pitting in it. It was what we had, so we run it. But the reason for the old Ford V8 rear end is you can, of using that housing, is you can still run a Hallobrand quick change in it, put the center section in it, which because of economics this year we did without.
And you guys had quite a thrash getting it ready and on the trailer to go to Speed Week.
Yeah, it was. We knew when the date was. There was always something else to do, like make a living. And the last couple of weeks, it was a real thrash. Bondo and the boys did a lot. I think the car was painted the week we left. It never was final assembled until the night before we left. We was putting the body on at about 8 o'clock and all the other associated things. And we'd had the engine apart earlier that day even. So it wasn't the best effort, but the main thing we wanted to do was just get out and run it one time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess go over the contributors. Bondo, of course, J. Fields Enterprises, his sons.
Yeah, we had them help out. Keever Auto Machine chipped in some labor on some engine work. Prairie Wind out of Augusta handled the graphics and our t-shirts for the event. Razor Automotive here locally, Robert Razor does run sprint cars, and he builds some good Chevy motors. He's got a good flow bench, and we did some work with the flow bench last winter on selecting heads for the thing, and did a little bit of porting work on it. And then the other contributor was Agri Center here in Hutchinson. They got a good machine shop. They did sleeving and the boring on that block. So, but then Motorsport Specialties, they're the local speed shop. They handle, they supplied a lot of the hard parts that I had to buy, couldn't build. They helped me out on that, and fuel for the car and oil. And then Machine Design Services, they've got a machine shop in South Hutchinson, and all my little things end up getting run down there after hours. And it's not unusual to see me come in there and, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you take a few thousandths off? It didn't fit. So they were really a valuable asset to us.
And the entire suspension is shop built?
The entire suspension shop built. It's all fairly conventional. The only thing unconventional on it is the torsion bars. We've got torsion bars running parallel with the frame, and then you've got an anchor coming out off the end of the movable end of the bar comes out and into the forelink. And these on the solid end of it then has a rotator on it, so you can fine-tune the ground height of the car. On the back it's the same way. They're all inboard of the body, but you can fine-tune the ride height fairly easily on it. And they happen to be Volkswagen parts left over from my old days in the 70s.
And let's see, they got disc brakes on the rear. Where'd they come from?
They're aftermarket pieces, mostly for circle track racers, but it's a big brake and they're fairly economical, and they just proved to work real well for pulling the car down from 140 mile an hour, no fade, nothing.
So you don't use a chute to stop it there?
No, chute's required over 175 mile an hour, but we're not quite there yet. Maybe next year.
And the mark you're shooting for is 160.
160 plus, so that's where we hope to be next summer. You can check me then and see if we made it.
Well, we'll do that. Bring her to a meeting, and
all right.
you can wear your red cap.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we need.
All right, well, you think that covers everything?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I have, okay, well, record seems to work at least. I have not, is night shot on? I didn't have it on before.